What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop. NFL Week 5. We're back here again. Thursday Night Football. Shitty game, but hey, we're here, ready to go. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Obviously we got Thursday Night Football. We're coming live at you guys today on a rare Thursday as opposed to our normal Wednesday schedule. But obviously we were not loving the injury report yesterday. There weren't that many lines available. So we said, fuck it. Let's go do some baseball. Obviously an exciting wild card slate yesterday. So we were over on Spaces if you missed us, but we pushed it back. Still had some plays for you guys today. So you kind of mentioned off the top, not the best game in the world, Falcons, Bucks. It'll be an okay game, but it's not the most exciting thing ever. But hey, just kind of like the one we talked about, a couple weeks ago with the Jets. It's like, even if these games do suck, it'll suck less if you make a little bit of money along the way.
Yeah, I really don't like this game, but hey, we'll figure something out. We always do. Give it some time for these guys to pop in here. Just might be a little bit shorter show than we usually are used to. We got 15 of you guys in here in the first couple minutes. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, and we will recap our show here from Monday. Start out with Monty.
Yeah, my only loss of last week, ruining the perfect sweep of the board with David Montgomery getting, 8-9 carries on the first drive and then nothing after that. Very disappointing. But, still a fantastic week. Not going to complain too much, but it would have been the icing on the cake if Monty could have finished off the sweep. And after that first drive, I was counting my money. I live bet 90 rush yards. Like, the dude had 50 on the first drive, and then it was just the Gibbs show from here on out. He gets a 40-yard catch. Montgomery gets a 40-yard catch instead of a rush. Just like, I don't know what the guy did to piss off the coaching. Like, he didn't get any more drives after that, fantastic start. But, still not going to complain too much. Very happy with the week.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just weird. Luckily for us, we did have Gibbs on here as well. My biggest play of the week was Geno. Obviously, I'm telling you, dude, if I had to put life or death, bro, I had to trust one quarterback in a primetime spot, bro. It's Geno Smith. That boy went up for almost 400. Everybody talking about how good Jared Goff did, bro. Yeah, I get it. It was perfect, but how much of that was yards after the catch? Geno Smith out here putting on a clinic, bro. He went up for almost 400. I was kind of getting nervous for a little bit because I did have a straight bet on Geno Smith more passing yards than Jared Goff, and then all of a sudden Goff's just throwing 80-yard bombs.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot. I didn't even look at the box score, and I look at the box score, dude's got 300. I'm like, damn, Geno, put it on for us, boys. That was awesome. Really, really like that. And, man, dude, he was chucking that thing around, man. I don't know what happened, but my God, dude, he just took that thing and just went crazy. Love to see it.
Yeah, no, this combo is great right here. I was hyping you up a lot. I definitely tailed this play right here. I mean, Geno passing was just like, it was the move in this game, and he kind of lived up to all expectations. So shout out to Geno. I'm sure this will not be the last time that Geno Smith is mentioned on Pass the Prop this year.
Yeah, no, I only play him in primetime. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't play him really anywhere else. I only play this dude in primetime because the boy puts on a clinic, man. Everybody writes him off. Dude just comes out and delivers in big spots. So obviously happy to see that coming through there. I did think we had a chance at this for my long shot. I thought we had a chance for a little while there until, 80-yard touchdown after 80-yard touchdown, and the Seattle Seahawks just get rocked through the air, which I was just not expecting.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was looking really live at first. Both running backs came out on fire. We're getting close to 100 yards. And then, like you said, J-Mo had that, insane touchdown. Montgomery, once again, 40-yard catch instead of run. Just kind of the little things. But definitely was a live long shot until defense stopped being played in this one. Once we cut out the defense, then both teams just started to pass like crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. That second half was just nuts. And I thought when they were up 14 in the first half, I was feeling awesome. And then is what it is. It happens. Moves us to 18-11, 9.56 units heading into week 5. Stu, we got in my opinion, garbage game, but I'm also have absolutely no ties to either one of these teams outside of Bijan sucking last week for my fantasy team and Kyle Pitts getting a 0. So I feel like outside of you go to the Falcons side, they're just so unpredictable. It's such a hard side to want to go to. But we have a 44 total, -2.5 towards the Falcons. You're getting a little juice on the plus 2.5 side for the Buccaneers. Which side are you looking at here if you had to bet one of the four here?
Yeah, if we got to go one of the four, I'm going with the Buccaneers. I mean, I kind of wrote it out last week on the show. I went against the Falcons with the Saints. That ended up either pushing or winning, depending on what number you got. I unfortunately pushed, did not win. So that's what I get for getting a bad number there. But I do think overall the Falcons still are a team that, like, I think they're pretty good. I think they get a little bit better as Kirk Cousins is a little bit, healthier in like late season form, week 12, 13, 14, when things start getting a little bit more serious. That's when I'm probably a bit more worried about this team. But Falcons still in the same boat, only a 16% pressure rate on this season. They're not getting to opposing quarterbacks. And when you give Baker Mayfield a clean pocket back there, he's going to make you pay. He's been doing it all season long. He's got a plethora of weapons, whether it's an Evans, a Godwin, Bucky out of the backfield now is actually, presenting a new threat to this team. So I like the Buccaneers. I think they're a more complete team, and I think we're not really giving Baker the credit he deserves. He's been cooking this year. Every single week he's looked good. So for me, these two teams are pretty even. It's a pretty close game. I would not be shocked if either team won, but I'm higher on the Buccaneers overall. I think they put up a good fight here, and I think it's a good stylistic matchup with them just not being able to get enough pressure in the face of Baker Mayfield tonight.
Pressure and just watching Rachaad White run the ball up the middle for no yards every time. So, yeah, I have Baker, dude. I love Baker. You guys know how much I love Baker. He was my Geno last year, bro. I went Geno 2 years ago. This is my Geno last year. I bet on Baker almost every week, and it was pretty profitable for me. I do not have a Baker bet today, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to ask you, Stu, because I got this situation in fantasy this week. One of my leagues, I got Dak Prescott at the Steelers, or I can play Baker Mayfield tonight in Atlanta. Who are you rolling with this week on a short week?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think I'd go with Baker Mayfield, honestly, with how much they're airing the ball out, with how much both running backs can give you in the receiving game as well, where they're not quite the traditional like threat to hurt you as much. The Steelers defense is tricky, man. You could see some turnovers in that one with Dak too. Like, he doesn't really give you any rushing upside. Like, they're both kind of stand-up guys. So I'd take the guy with a more offensive game script, which is Baker. So it's a little ugly, obviously, benching a guy like Dak, but I think you have to here.
Yeah, I have done it in the past already. I've already benched him before, so not anything new for me. But yeah, just something that I do have as an option to do as we keep going along here this season. I've had a few times already this year where I've played Baker, and he's done actually better in those spots. So I think if I had to do it, I think I might take an over. I usually go against this in primetime games, but, dude, I don't really know how the Tampa Bay is going to stop them without Winfield back there, bro. I just think that there's going to be enough air out from them. Bro, if Bijan comes in and plays like 5 snaps, bro, I think that stadium's going to collapse, bro. Like, there's going to be fantasy owners around the whole place just coming up there just banging on that place. Be like, figure your shit out, dude. We thought getting rid of Arthur Smith's ass would be like what we needed, and you still don't play this play. So hopefully he's starting to go. And yeah, I just don't want that really nice stadium that Arthur Smith just inducted himself into his own Hall of Fame. I don't want to just get ran over by, millions of fantasy owners just running and just getting rid of it. A couple billion into that thing, I could see it get tipped over pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the stadium. You're not even counting all the rage you're going to see on Twitter, on the internet, right? Because it's been this like revolving door of like, when are we going to get this Bijan 20 carry workload? For this game, though, I mean, injuries piling up. He already had a shoulder thing. Then he gets this leg injury. It's a short week. Like, all those things combined for me, the first thing I looked at this week was like Bijan receiving yards, or maybe like Bijan like 3 catches and Godwin 5 catches, right? Something like a combo like that was literally the first thing I looked at this week. But it's just one of those things that like I can't click on Bijan. I just can't. On the short week, another injury, a separate one from what he was already dealing with that led to limited touches last week. Like, I actually can't click on it. Like, I like Bijan, I like the receiving, but like, who knows what the usage is going to be like? Who knows how much he's held back from injury? You're kind of just guessing at this point.
Yeah, no, you can't really bet on each side, which is why this game kind of sucks. Like, it's just like, it's tough because like all the other side, like Buccaneers, where the ball is going, but the lines are just juicing up every single week. They keep going up higher and higher. If this was week 1, then yeah, okay. That's why everybody bet Godwin in week 1, right? Because they just didn't adjust to the books, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, they're adjusting to the Buccaneers side. Atlanta, you just don't have a read, right? I'm telling you right now, dude, we could see Bijan get 25 carries tonight. Algier touch the ball once just because everybody touches Algier. Everybody's going to bet Algier tonight, and then they're going to flip it. Like, that's literally the two options. Either 25 touches for Bijan or 1 carry for Bijan and Tyler Algier gets 20. That's how shit Atlanta is, bro, and I'll just never, ever, ever want to bet on this team.
Yeah, that's the one thing we can probably touch on before we move to our props. Tyler Algier is like the chalk of the chalk today. I mean, I've seen like every capper posting that rushing yards. I see Jacob Wayne, who was on the show in here, cashing some winners with us recently, saying he's on a big Tyler Algier night. Man,
I can't do chalk. I can't do it. A chalk backup running back, bro. I can't do it.
At over 30 yards as well. Like, that's a benchmark. Like, even if we're splitting touches, like, that's a real benchmark. And it's something I kind of talked about last week. Like, I know the stats aren't good on paper, but like Vita Vea coming back, I mean, he's legit one of the best.
How do you bet on any running back if Vita Vea is in the middle? Especially because ain't fast. He ain't running on
Exactly. It's not like he's getting those like outside carries to kind of avoid the interior of that line. I like Algier. He's talented. I'm not betting the over or the under tonight, but like seeing so many people on 34 and like that's a significant number. You're not just guessing that
you need 10 carries at least, bro.
Exactly. You're not even guessing on split time. You're like, you need it. You know, when I love betting backup running backs, by the way. This hits home to me because I love betting backup running backs. But like what you want when you do that is you want like not to rely on the starter to be bad or something. You want to have that as an option where it could hit with the starter being good or with the starter being bad. If Bijan comes out here 8 for 40 on the first drive, touchdown, whatever, like Algier could be. Yeah, like it could be like a 6 for 18 kind of day. You know what I mean? And like 6 carries is a fine projectable, workload for Algier. So you're just asking for efficiency. I've just seen it way too many times. Jacob said he didn't know it was chalk. I mean, I can only speak for my perception on Twitter, and I'm the most online person like in this fucking Twitter sphere we've got. So, I mean, I've seen like too much in my opinion Algier action.
And I barely went on, bro. I went on Twitter and I saw 6. And and I'm not even going out there looking for that. I was just scrolling and I saw 6. And that was by like 11 o'clock this morning, your time. So a couple hours ago, I saw like 6 or 7. It's tough. It's tough because, Wanda Bijan looks good. Honestly, if he touches the ball, he probably will look good. The dude is just a good running back too. Like it makes it tougher to even want to, go against him having that type of efficiency. So let's take a look at the chat, guys. Let's take a look. Pop in there quick, and we'll get to some plays, talk some Sunday bets, or not Sunday bets, Sunday first looks, and then get you guys on your way. 45 of you guys in here. Hit that like button. Let's get at least a 20 here. I'll have to go pop over there and check what we're at here. Fire Sports talking about that Montgomery one. Yeah, that was tough. They just stopped giving him touch. I don't know why. Eddie in here, as always. We appreciate you. Shout out to Fire Sports. Congrats, man. Happy to see that you took home a nice 15 large. We love to see that. Henry, Spears, Montgomery, all first touchdown. Good job, man. Happy for you. Maybe I have to bet first touchdown. I don't think I've ever bet a first touchdown bet in my life. But now you're making me want to. But Billy talking about thoughts on Cousins' passing yards in this spot, kind of fading the chalk. That is, everybody wanting to bet Atlanta running backs. Is that something that you might want to look at here?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I'd probably go completions for, reasons I'll talk about a little bit later. But I think completions would probably be where I'd lean over passing yards. But he should be able to get there as long as this isn't like a super slow, boring game. Like it's a very low line to pass for like a traditional pocket passer like him. And neither of these defenses are good. Like that's the thing. Neither of them are super intimidating to me. So I don't mind Cousins, but also like it doesn't necessarily like jump out to me as like huge value either.
Perfect. Big stay away from the Atlanta running backs. I mean, these could be the games that you get the pop-offs, though. Like, this might be one where you just bet a ladder if you think he's going to be that guy and you're going to get all those touches. It's just you can't really ladder unders very many places, so it also makes it tough because you could try and do the fade on it, too. That's the game we play here, especially when you have a unreliable spot here. It was good. My only play tonight is Kirk, 207 passing yards. Baker, 21 completions, plus 130. Not too bad. We always like the plus money here on the show. We'll always lean to that. Hit that like button. Hey, appreciate you, Cashville. Stu got the hood up on Friday Eve. We're sweeping the board tonight. Hey, yeah, we usually don't do back-to-back shows, but we're doing it this week. So we'll be back here again tomorrow for you guys. But yeah, Stu, let's get into it. We're getting down into the fucking weeds, my guy.
Sounds good. Yep, I'm going to my guy, Ray McCloud today, over 32.5 receiving yards. You can get that at MGM, at Caesars, at 365. It's also 33.5 on DraftKings. That's good. I'd play it up to 35. I honestly still think Ray McCloud is a little bit undervalued given his current role. Like, this team is one of the most consolidated target shares of any wide receiver group in the country, with Drake London at about 28%. And then you got Darnell Mooney, number 2, at about 20%. And then you got Ray McCloud right behind him at 19.7%. So pretty much McCloud and Mooney are pretty much tied for the wide receiver 2 on this team. Like, they both have vastly different roles, but given the situation, those are the other two that are turned to in these situations. When when Drake London isn't open, when you're going to a wide receiver 2. Both of these guys are playing pretty much 100% of snaps. This isn't a team that's rotating 4 or 5 different guys involved. It's been those 3. They're keeping them involved. They're not, we're not seeing it dip down to like 60% of snaps like a lot of slot receivers. Ray McCloud is, for every single Kirk Cousins drop back, he's going to be out there. So having to not necessarily worry about your guy coming off the field is always one of those things that feels extra good. But for me, what makes him stand out is this is a defense in Todd Bowles in the Bucs, who are one of the most blitz-happy teams in the league. They're currently 3rd in blitz rate in the NFL so far this year, and that's not a new thing for Bowles either. If there's one thing people kind of know about him, he's not scared to stack the box. He's not scared to send extra pressure. He's a guy that is willing to absolutely send the house at you in an effort to slow down your offense. That's something that becomes even more important when your secondary's banged up, right? When you're missing one of the better safeties in the league, right? When you're a little bit more concerned that your corners aren't going to be able to hold up in one-on-one coverage. What your solution may be is, how about we give the quarterback less time to throw? How about we make up his mind for him and we send the house at him, right? Kirk Cousins, 10th in quick throw rate so far this year. He's pretty good at getting the ball out fast. He's pretty good at taking his check downs. He's not going to hold on for 40 extra yards for the deep bomb. And when we look at comparing the wide receiver 2s on this team, we got a guy like McCloud, career 6.5 ADOT, and then we got a guy like Moody, a career 12 ADOT, right? That's almost double his career average depth of target. So when I see a blitz-heavy team, when I see a team that's going to try to get pressure on the opposing quarterback, I think that's going to result to more short yardage, to more, intermediate, over the middle, relying on the slot wide receiver targets, and a little bit of less of Darnell Mooney and his kind of like 35-yard down the field jump balls, because Mooney's been great this year. He's been a very good piece for this team in terms of air yards, he's getting down the field. But I just think stylistically, this doesn't necessarily match up as a great, Mooney matchup. I'd be much more comfortable in a super man-heavy matchup, right? But this is one of the most heavy zone teams in the league. We see a nice 4% boost to Ray McCloud's target share against zone so far this year. He's more involved. He's good at just finding those little holes in the zone, getting those 7-yard catches, moving the chains, and keeping it going. So I like this spot. I like McCloud. I do think he's underrated at this given point in his career. He does a lot of the little things right. He's explosive on special teams. He's kind of that classic, like, new age slot wide receiver that's giving you a little bit of yak value over the middle. He's quick, and he's just a dependable target first quarterback. And I think a guy like Kyle Pitts maybe could have had that role, but he's just not had that connection with Cousins. And the coaching staff has consistently said, like, Cousins throws the ball. We're not going to force targets to Kyle Pitts. That's not our job. Our job is to get guys open, right? And just the way they've been using McCloud so much this season gives me a lot of confidence. He's not coming off the field. The snaps are going to be there. The routes are going to be there. If I think this team's going to have to pass, if I think he's going to be looking for these short yardage targets, I think McCloud is a huge beneficiary. He's gone over 40 yards in 3 of 4 games for a reason so far. I think he should probably be in that 38-39 range going forward here. So I think that opens up some good value for a guy like Ray McCloud. And Bijan being banged up, could even add to that as well, because he's another check down guy. He's another short yardage guy that if he's not at 100%, if he's not playing as much as people think, that could be even better for our guy Ray McCloud.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it, man. I don't really I don't know much about Ray, but I did have a couple bets on him when he was in the primetime games before, because he just, he's been getting peppered. Him and Mooney have just been getting peppered with these targets, and just not what you're expecting when you have, supposed to have an alpha tight end who's just ass. And Drake London is playing good ball right now. So, but they're throwing enough to get there, and obviously you might get more attempts here without Bijan at full strength. I'm going to another combo. I've been doing these on Monday nights when we don't have the 2-game slates, but I've been doing them here. And I'm going to the Brewer game tonight. You guys know that. I'll be there. Game 3, winner go home game. I took the Brewers plus 240 to win the series after the game 1 loss. We've been bouncing back all year. I'll be there. It's going to be hype. You're going to hear me. You're going to hopefully see me on the screen. You guys are watching this. I told Stu before this, I won't be watching this NFL game tonight, bro. Even if the Brewers weren't playing, I probably wouldn't watch it. Just because unless when Baker's playing, maybe just because Baker's my guy. But Godwin 5 catch is going to be my spot in that game. This is minus 120. Let me check it right now. Minus 116 right now. But give me minus 300 on Godwin 5 catches. I feel damn good about that. That's still a good parlay piece to go to here. When you look at Chris Godwin, he's obviously way high. I did not know he was that high up in yards. Like, this dude is literally like top 10 in yards, top 10 in everything, 34 targets on the season. One thing I always look at too is obviously when we're looking at receptions is, yards per reception. Godwin's still at 11, which I thought was a lot higher, but air yards per catch is only at 7.5, right? 7.7, which is nice, especially when somebody in there mentioned zone. Atlanta may play in some zone there. Godwin's going to be that guy across the middle, right? It's going to be those running backs and Godwin across the middle. You guys know how big of a fan I am of Mr. Jesse Bates. I think he's an absolute monster, but I think that's going to be more Mike Evans, right? That's going to be the over-the-top stuff, those 20-yard plays, right? Maybe some blitzes, but when he is getting blitzed, it is going to Godwin. It's got to get out of your hand fast, and Godwin knows that, dude. He's a vet. He knows where he needs to be. He knows where the zone spots are. It's just that reliable guy under there, right? Especially when Kate Otten has taken just like 19 steps back. Godwin just like, all right, I'll take your targets. That's fine. And he's right there towards the top. I do want to give a quick shout out. Jaden Reed's number 2 in the NFL in receiving yards, bro. He's played with one less game with Malik Willis out there. Shout out him. I just was looking at the leaders of the thing, and I'm like, damn. I was not expecting to see that, but Godwin 5 catches feel it's obviously like a floor game for me, thinking about Godwin in this spot. But yeah, I'd be a little bit more worried about Evans on that spot with Bates versus Godwin with that Bates matchup, because Bates, dude, he's just like a game changer, man. He just is always there. I swear to God, every time a big play happens, he's right there. Every time Atlanta needs something defensively. So sign me up for Godwin like that spot. Brewers team total 2.5. Big game. It's going to be rowdy there. Sold out already. Like I said, I'll be there for that one. Facing off against Quintana. Brewers used to be an auto fade against lefties. They came out yesterday, and they got shut down by Minaya, but I'm not as worried about Quintana as I was about Minaya. Minaya giving up the homer to good old Jackson Cheerio, but they got all the momentum right now. The Mets had to finish it last night. Maton blew the game, gave up 2 nukes. And Tobias Myers has been good. I'm not saying he's going to shut these guys down, but I think this game could get pretty high scoring, especially when you've seen Mets throw high-end arms already twice. Brewers really, they have, but not, as many pitches as we've seen from these Mets guys. So I think that you could see Savali in that middle relief. And I don't know, dude, this just feels like one of those games where the Brewers get all that crowd momentum. It's going to be crazy there tonight. And win or go home, baby. And I think that this is a young team. I don't even think they know that it's this big. You know what I mean? Because they're just all young. Mitchell got drafted 3 years ago. Cheerio, obviously, young dude, 20 years old, can't even drink yet. Dude's batting leadoff in a freaking thing and hitting 2 nukes last night. Just crazy. William Contreras needs to get his head out of his ass. He's been dog shit yesterday. That was awful to watch. But Adames, I'm going to tell you right now, Adames, that tricky guy, I think he's like batting like 500 against Quintana over his career. So I'm excited. I'll be there, dude. It's Cheerio, dude. They were hyping his ass up like Mike Trout type numbers in minor leagues. I'm like, yeah, dude, he's that good. Everybody's talking about Jackson Holiday. Get off him, man. Get off him. He ain't even close. He ain't even on the level of Jackson Sherrill, bro. This dude is hitting absolute mammoth tanks, bro. And it is awesome to watch. This guy is just so good. You see Terang at the top of the order swiping bases. Everybody swiping bases. Garrett Mitchell going yard, even though I talk shit on him. Hey, maybe I need to talk more shit on him. That's why his ass sat on the bench, and maybe he woke up. It's a nuke. Maybe it was my fault that he hit a bomb last night. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like this spot a lot. Is there a lot of background noise from me right now? Okay, so there's construction in my background. So, okay, it's very loud over here. I can barely hear me speak. But I do like the spot a lot. I guess, like you said, I feel like they would have had to put it away yesterday if it were the Mets. Like, that's the getting back from, like, you were almost there. You were that close. Like, having that mental to climb that mountain again. And like you said, already using your high leverage arms as well, already expending kind of as much of the gas in the tank as you possibly could. And then having that heartbreaking loss for me is something that it's tough. And like you said, that kind of rough pitching on both sides, a lot of opportunity for offense. Definitely seems like a great play. Godwin 5 catches is like my favorite parlay piece on the slate by far. I said it at the top of the show. I was looking for pairs for it. I just couldn't actually find that much else I liked in this game, to be completely honest. I see Eddie asking about pairing it with Ray Ray. I like that combination as well. But I looked for like a while, and just like Bijan 3 catches was the other thing I liked. But I can't get there. I can't get there with the injury stuff tonight. So this seems like a very good alternative for that. I mean, I don't want to say Godwin 5 catches is like a lock, but like it's one of those things that like he's cleared very easily in every game. He's going to see another 8-target game. They have nobody to really put on him here. Like this is a good matchup. Definitely a fan of Godwin. Another 10-target game here. So definitely tail on this combo.
Yeah, and I like I know Fantasy Pros gives you like a catchable rate. Like the catchable passes. I think it was 28 of the 34 have been catchable. I think he only has like 1 drop on the season. So this dude's reliable. Good stuff there. 27% target share. It's like not much else you can really talk about here on Godwin. The dude's just been hyper reliable, and hopefully everything goes well again tonight. Stay healthy and get in there, get out, get those 10 catches, get out of there, man. So all I know is that Brewer game's going to be rowdy, bro. I'm fucking hyped.
That's gonna be great. Yeah, you definitely got to post a little picture for us over on Twitter. That should be a rowdy house today for sure. Or even a video. If a homer gets hit or something like that, you got to be reporting live from the scene.
Oh yeah, I'll be ready to go, man. I was bummed I couldn't go to the game yesterday. I had to work, and now but we'll make it there. Might make it in like the second inning, unfortunately, but hey, we'll still make it. Yeah, that's gonna be our plays here for the Thursday night game. Let's talk a little bit about Sunday and maybe talk some long shots if Stu's got one there. So I don't, unless I'm betting some Brewers, because that's what I'm betting on today. Heavy there, but Stu, we got a good slate this weekend. We got the. Oh yeah, now I'm hearing your little background, your little construction. Now I'm hearing a little bit. But we have the London games this week. We got the Jets Vikings out there. We have a lot of other games where I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts, Stu. Let's talk about the game that you're looking forward to most to watching here.
Yeah, we're going to just put the Commanders out of the list for the rest of the year because that's the clear number one. I think Bills-Texans is going to be a lot of fun, right? We've seen a guy like C.J. Stroud really kill man coverage, really struggle against zone, against cover two. Well, how do you deal with one of the heaviest cover two defenses in the league with Josh Allen on the other side? Like, I think that's going to be a really fun team, a really fun game, kind of see if they can overcome a little bit of those weaknesses. And I think it's going to be good for props. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think both sides show off some of that high-end offense. We see some explosive plays, like just a fun, offensive game overall.
Yeah, I think mine definitely, just because I'm curious, man. The Ravens only 2-point favorites, 2.5 in Cincy. Like, is Joe Burrow even good anymore? Like, that's what everybody's saying, and obviously I don't know. I'll let it happen. I'll let it happen as it is. But I mean, is Lamar and Derrick Henry both going to run for 250 here in this game? Like, why even pass the fucking ball? Just run it down these dudes' throat, bro. But that's why I look at him like 2.5, 2. Man, what am I missing? Why are they so much higher on the Bengals than I am in this spot? So I don't know. I think that's the game I'm looking forward to most. Nice total in there, so it might be a DFS spot. But man, this should be I'm interested in that game. Obviously, AFC North matchup, and usually you're used to hearing about defenses, but this total is pushing 50, man. it's going to be an interesting spot because I was not expecting to see that game that close on the odds.
Yeah, I mean, they can't stop anyone on defense. Like, they can't stop anyone. Like, Derrick Henry's 83.5 yards for a reason. I still like the over, honestly. Like, I don't know how you get away from that. Their defensive line is still injured. Hendrickson even went down at the end of last game. Like, the season is on the line. They need to win this one, but I would not be betting the Bengals this week. I don't have confidence in them.
Yeah, it's tough to even think about, right? Even wanting to bet that team after watching them implode throughout. So, any other game you want to brush over here? I know that today's going to be a little bit shorter of a talk just because we were on yesterday, talked a little yesterday, and obviously are here back-to-back days tomorrow. So we will have a lot to talk about tomorrow. But is there anything else you want to talk about from this slate, Stu, before we go into possible long shots?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just the one we talked about Monday, that Jets-Vikings one. I like the Vikings. I like them in London. I think I'm higher on them than most people are, than the market is. And I don't think the Jets are going to be able to run their offense. I don't think they're going to be able to establish the run, set up those deep shots. I think the Vikings defense is going to keep giving teams trouble. So that's kind of the hot button game of the week. I figured I'd bring that up again, but I like the Vikings in that one. I'm honestly pumped for a London game, which never happens because if you remember, they normally suck. Then the teams normally suck, and then even when they do put good teams, the game normally sucks. Like, they're just slow, kind of more boring games. But I do think that's how the Jets play anyway. So, like, whatever. You're used to that at this point anyway. I do think the Vikings can make it a little bit more entertaining. So, definitely figured I'd bring that one up again. Like my Commanders, I'm not sure I'm going to bet on them. Feels like a good letdown spot here, but I hope they get the win. I'll be there in spirit.
Awesome. Do you have any other things to talk about in this Thursday night game? Do you have any touchdown guys you want to talk about? Anything we want to throw into a little maybe possible long shot parlay here for today?
Yeah, I mean, you and me kind of agree. Like, we just don't love this game. Like, I'm trying. I don't know. Like, it's not like the only touchdown that kind of seems good is Drake London to me. That's not a long shot at all, though. That's just one of the more chalky ones. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm having a little bit of a tougher time. I can't foresee having that many long shots tonight, to be completely honest. Just maybe like Mooney anti-correlation parlay where you go over on yards and you go under on receptions. You get that little boost. We talked about it with Jamison Williams last week. He ended up cashing. Mooney's like the perfect target for that. That'll get like $5 of my money, but I haven't actually bet any long shots yet.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Stu, we've been seeing this name in there a little bit. Do you want to bet on Sterling Shepard?
I don't. I've seen it like 3 times in the chat. I mean, he definitely wants it more because he was on his couch recently. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not betting to over 23. Absolutely not. That's too high for me, I think. Just because you're asking for like 3-4 catches. Like, you're asking for like a real involved workload from Sterling Shepard, who career long catches like 6-yard passes for a living over the middle. So
every time he goes further than 6 yards, he freaking tears his knee apart. So just stay inside 6 yards and be good.
If it's actually 23, that's like an under consideration for real. Like, that's too high. I don't have my thing up in front of me right now.
I'm pulling up right now.
That feels like that should be like 15.5 or something, like 2 catches, maybe 3.
Sterling Shepard right now on FanDuel is 19.5.
That's more fair, but yeah, I still would be leaning under for sure. Like, 6-yard catches. Like, that's what you get from Sterling Shepard. He's not any younger anymore. He's not any faster than he was before. Like, he's a couple injuries later. I don't know, man. Just pass for me. Hoping the best for him, though. It's good to see the veterans come back and, do well. It's just not something I want to bet on.
Yeah, minus 178 on FanDuel for under 2.5 catches. Kind of that spot that you were mentioning, Stu, where he's, not really that involved in the offense. So, I mean that you are digging into those. Hopefully that coach knows where he went to school and shit like that.
I guess, yeah.
But I don't know. I love Baker. I don't know if I would even push him to that much. I love Baker. Maybe I will throw a little correlated one in there with him going crazy. But, I mean, if I like it at 3, why would I not just take the plus money at 2? I'm getting plus 115 for him to throw 2 touchdowns. So I'd probably rather do that because if you already hit Baker at 300, that's going to get you enough, in my opinion. If you're going to be rolling Baker 300, you're getting 360 on that. I might as well just go that with the touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like I would rather go there. But even at that, it's like 451 for 2 touchdowns, 300 yards, and I'm like, I'd rather just take the 360, 300 yards and take the 3 touchdowns separately too, because I don't know. I feel like the correlated money is not going to be as much as what I would be getting if I take them separate.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like, I just think it's kind of like, I don't think this is going to be a high enough pace for us to get there. I don't think either of these teams want to play that fast pace. Like, I don't know. I think Baker has a pretty good game, but nothing like in this game makes me want to bet 300 yards. So pass for me. But it's a long shot at the end of the day, so I don't mind the look.
I mean, at that point, you might as well just take Evans because I don't think he's getting to 300 yards unless Evans goes for like 140. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the correlated one I would want to go to because, yeah, I love Godwin, but his is going to be like that 7 for 100, 8 for 100. Like, that's top out. How else are we getting the other 200? It's got to be Mike Evans, right? We're going to get, 5-yard passes to Kate Otten. He'll probably drop them. And then you're just going to have to hold Bucky or Rashad White take a 2-yard pass, 30, 40 yards, right? Because that's really what else it is. So it's like maybe that's the spot I go to or something like that. But I don't have any long shots in the game. Like I said, I'll be at the Brewer game, which I will have my undivided full attention for the entire time that this is on. So we're locked in for that. Unfortunate for us as a football show that I will be at a massive baseball game. I did take the Brewers plus 240 to win the series after game 1. So let's bounce it back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for you, man. That's going to be a good game. Probably better than our primetime game. But, we'll keep you updated on what's going on while you're at the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will message me, Chris Godwin, 4 catches and faking an injury just because Vegas called and all that shit. So at least in baseball, you can't really do that. You can't really do that. You get hurt, you're blowing something out, right? You're not coming out of this game. So I'm excited for that. If I had to take anything for a long shot for me, it would probably I would take both pitchers under their strikeouts at 4.5. And then maybe I'll roll with my boy. I despise Willie Adames so far this series. He's been dog shit. But you throw him in with like an RBI, it's like plus 500. That would be kind of what I would look at a little bit there. But I do like both pitchers under their strikeouts. Just they're minus 160, minus 170 on most books. So I won't be playing those straight.
Sounds good.
All right, let's recap here, Stu, and we'll get these guys on our way. 40 of you guys in here. Let's get some likes in there, and we'll get it rolling here. Let's do it, Stu.
Sounds good. You got Ray McCloud over 32.5 receiving yards, minus 110. Caesars MGM, I'd play it up to 34.5.
Beautiful. And I will be on Brew Crew, baby. We're going to the Brew Crew. Rolling with them. Score 3 runs tonight. Chris Godwin, 5 catches at minus 120 on FanDuel Sportsbook. They don't let you do the alternate stuff on DK with the catches in that one there. So just make sure you pop it over on FanDuel to lock that one in. Anything else from you, Stu? We still got 40 of people in here. Anything else before we head out? Because, we'll be back tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, no need for a lengthy outro. I'll probably have like 3 to 4 props posted for the weekend slate in the 4for4 Discord. So if you want to come check that out, see my weekend action, I'll be releasing that starting in just a couple hours. And then, like you said, we'll be back here for Pass the Prop Friday edition tomorrow, where we'll be going over our best bets for the weekend.
Yeah, set your calendar, boys and girls. Noon, my time, 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll be going live here, ready to make some bets, lock in our plays, and it should be fun. It should be a good slate to talk about a little bit more. You'll get a little bit more in-depth information. If this was your first show you came on for, you're like, yeah, these guys have been cooking, man. They've been cooking NFL, and then you get this game. Plus, I'm going to a Brewers game. I'm sorry if this was your first show. Tomorrow, I promise, all NFL. I'm just kind of, a little hyped out about my crew here tonight. So it's going to be a little more MLB than you're probably going to hear most of the time.
Yeah, and hopefully there won't be construction inside of my house right now so I can hear the things I'm saying, because pretty much have been guessing the last 30 minutes, but definitely do like the spots we got out there. And like you said, obviously, we'll bring the data, we'll bring the numbers tomorrow. We'll make it a little bit more nerdy for you guys that like that kind of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. In about 24 hours, we'll be back here ready to talk some bets with you guys. So thank you guys. Hit that like button on your way out, and best of luck on your bets tonight. And catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.